What's going on, fellow reef builders? I am Jake Adams coming back at you. Not exactly with an update of the studio, but I do have a lot of shiny new reef aquarium displays to show you guys, and you can see them right behind me. So for months now, you've followed the saga of me getting those tanks in place, painting the stands white, getting them plumbed up in such a way that they're silent. As you can hear or not hear, these things are just whisper quiet using the continuous siphon overflow method. And these tanks are only 2 weeks old. They actually looked really, really great, even just a few days after putting them together, because I did these, I think I did that one day, that one the next day, then that one the next day. So I have a lot to show you guys, but in just a couple days, I'm gonna be leaving for a dive trip to collect my own corals for the studio. I have collected corals before, but it's always just like really oddballs, like one-offs or really sensational pieces. But now I have a commercial scale to fill up. I'm not gonna ship a whole ton of boxes here, but I do have a shiny new toy in my dive housing here for the camera that's shooting this video, and I've actually never taken it underwater, so I'm very excited to not only go diving, collect my own corals, but also make some videos of the wild reefs to share with you guys and show you what natural reefs are really like. So filming underwater is quite a challenge, so for this series, we're gonna stick to the studio, and although I'm gonna be gone for a couple weeks, I am going to be scheduling several of these videos to just show up every few days, so you can expect a steady stream of videos of the new reef tanks here at the Reef Builder Studio. So, man, so thankful to have an audience to share this with. You guys are really the best. It really adds to the inspiration of reefing and doing this YouTube channel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 4 videos at once, showing these 3 tanks, plus one more, the Waterbox Crystal Peninsula, which has been going for a little while as well. Not filled with corals, but we will get to that. So let's get it started, and let me show you these tanks one by one, because even though I set them up, I enjoy them every day. Every day I look at them and I'm just like really just pleased with how they look and how healthy the corals are. So let's dive in and see what they're all about. It is, you know, a little bit fun to show you guys the reef builds and how things are set up and the different subsystems here at the studio. But nothing is better than showing you some nice completed reef aquariums. And I'm cheating a little bit because this one is on a system. So for those of you who haven't watched the previous videos, I've got these 3 innovative marine tanks fed by the same pump on the same continuous siphon, and then 1 emergency siphon, and it's going into a common sump, the Nios protein skimmer. It's tied into this pool, and this pool is being fed by the twin tech calcium reactor and the kalkwasser. So for now, it's only kalkwasser and calcium reactor and a little bit of traces. So I'm not actually dosing, using machines to do that. And it's given me this nice little row of display aquariums. And for this video, I really just want to focus on this particular aquarium right here. So this is the Nuvo EXT 40 gallon. It is not quite a cube, but you'd be forgiven for thinking it's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit thinner than it is high, but ultra clear glass, external overflow. Just a really, really cool aquarium shape. And let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, I just took a moment to turn off the studio lights so you can appreciate this aquarium. I am using a Kessel A360X with the narrow reflector. What it did is just kind of focus the light, which is what a reflector should do or a lens should do, but it made all the corals just pop a lot more. So in this aquarium, I have a lot of very cool corals. They're all going to be kind of like moon corals or acanthastria or goniastria or homophilia. So this is a Bowerbanki. We've got the war coral, we've got the rotundiflora, a little moon coral, and I've got the Christmas favia, platygyra, and then all the corals here are kind of isolated because they are vicious. They are vicious killers. They have crazy sweeper tentacles that really, really only come out at night, at the dead of night. So if you have these and you see corals around it kind of dying, these guys have some wicked, wicked sweeper tentacles. But I really like them. You can see they come in a range of colors, semi-branching, and definitely one of my favorite corals. Another group which is super duper interesting are these barabatoyas. I know I throw a lot of weird names at you guys. These guys are really, really cool. You would think that that's a candy coral, a calastria, but you can see how the tissue goes all the way down to the bottom. And so this is actually the same as that coral. So here's kind of a flat colony. Here you can see the coralites start to get a little bit more excerpt. And here's like an extreme example of those coralites just going out all the way. And moving right along, what do we have here? So I already showed you the moon coral. We have a big old homophilia. And that's the other thing I really like about certain tanks. I really try to take advantage of scaping on both sides. So I really scape this tank to consider what it'd be like to view it from this side. So over here is a big old dragon soul favia, which is not a favia, it's a goniastria. And we have a couple really, really nice, colorful Acan echinata, Acan subechinata, and in the back there, I'm not really sure what that coral is. I've actually had that coral since it was about the size of a quarter. I bought it as an orange scalemia off of eBay of all things, probably like 8 or 9 years ago, and it has killed so many corals, and that's why it's on a magnet on the back, isolated by itself. So one thing that's neat about this group of corals is they actually have really low water flow demands. So there's actually no pump inside. There's no power head inside. There's no sand. All the flow is provided by the return. All the flow is provided by the return. We got a flared nozzle there, just kind of pushing water against the front. And we've only it's only been a couple weeks, so we only have a tiny little buildup of detritus there behind the rocks. And I just love this tank. You know, it is kind of stationary, kind of solid. There's not enough movement, so I am gonna find something cool to put in here. But for movement, I've got my firefish. I freaking love firefish. Every tank has a yellow tang, dedicated algae grazer. Every tank needs this aquatic equivalent of a cow or a goat, and you feed these guys pretty good. So yeah, so here's a very simple display here, the first one. It's not necessarily set in stone because these tanks will adapt and evolve over time. So here's the view of the first completed display here at the studio. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and definitely subscribe, like, comment. And for the next video, I'm going to show you my Euphilia garden.